Here's some barges going by up close. This is a short group of barges. There's only 6 here. There's the power. We're in Red Wing. There's the first clue.
In the early years, we were considered the wheat capital of the world. And all the farmers would bring their wheat over here and then they would ship it down by barge. It is what we call Jinpole Village. Jinpole Village, all those little boats are harboring, houses are harboring a boat. They're floating on oil barrels. They're anchored in the water by those poles that allows them to rise and fall with the level of the water. This spring we had a lot of snow last winter and this road was covered over. But now we're in a drought time. Our population is about 16,500. So we're not a real big town. That is a French Second Empire style. It's got a mansard roof. That terracotta trim over the windows is a locally made product. James Lawther came here from Ireland when he was 17 years old. Found an architect that said if you have an octagonal house, you'll have no wasted corners. He also said if you raise it up above the street level, it'll have better circulation. It has been a private home until the 1930s. James Lawther went back to Ireland, died in 1900, but
17 blocks of historical houses.
Tan brown one there was the home for Frances Densmore. She collected the Indian music all over the country, and it is in the Smithsonian Institute now. T.B. Sheldon Mansion. Mr. Sheldon came here in the 1860s. He was quite the entrepreneur. He was in all types of business. Is the United Lutheran Church, and across on the door side is the First Lutheran Church. They spoke different languages. Their religion was the same, and now they are all evangelical Lutheran churches. James Lawther gave us our first library. Unfortunately, they didn't keep that Andrew Carnegie Library. We're going down one of our main streets here. And Hanish Bakery over on the driver's side has been voted the best bakery and donuts in Minnesota. This is the original Red Wing Shoe Factory, and it is still in operation. When the first missionaries came in the 1830s, they found a settlement of about 300 Indians here. They were very friendly to the white man. They wanted to learn their language and their custom. We're crossing the main channel of the Mississippi here that you came up on. It was the legend of an Indian maiden in about the 1700s. A young brave that she loved dearly, but her family did not approve of. She was supposed to marry a different brave. The next day, they saw her at the base of Maiden Rock. She had jumped rather than being married to the man she did not love. And there's the Stockholm Pie Company here, and a few picketers. And there's many little shops. There's a few bed and breakfasts.
Town of Wabasha.
You can enjoy the view up there.
Residents, and we're going to the National Eagle Center. This town has lots of fall decorations already up. This is an exhibit of the local slough and the animals that live in a slough. That guy's a river otter. Birds eating a fish. 12 weeks. We go from newly hatched to fully grown. There's an eagle, and there's another one. There's a third one. 17 years old. The other two are in their 20s.
Fully one of their wings, therefore they've not got that strong balance fly. Well, Shaka here, as I said, he's missing his left eye. He had a large tumour on the left side of his head. When he fledged and left
bunch of eagles. I assume they're all eagles. Maybe not. I think not. I think these are other birds. Nicely designed landscape. There's a bridge, I suppose, goes from Wisconsin back to Minnesota. Chief Wabasha the Second, ostensibly 1760 to 1836.
Fish market. And so bald eagles love coming to Wabasha because of how much food there is and how little they have to travel because there's always something to satisfy their hunger. And why Wabasha is so significant. All the eagles come there, but the biggest thing is knowing that we get a nice relaxing view in the winter months. And all of us on board might remember, about 50, 60 years ago, the period of time that bald eagles weren't doing so good in terms of numbers. The incubation process, the DDT affected the calcium to squash their future generations because of how thin the eggshells became. In the tips of Canada and the Arctic Circle, we have around 100,000 individual birds, and so we're doing really good. DDT was banned in 1973, and we have not looked back. And so bald eagles, they are here to stay. We call a booted eagle. And typically these categories relate to what they eat, where they live, or what they like to do in terms of how they acquire food. And so bald eagles, they don't have feathers on their feet and ankles because they're a fish eagle. They like to go catch fish. And just like those that have ever gotten their hair wet before, when your hair gets covered in water, it doesn't get lighter, it gets heavier because of 5 days to incubate, just over a month. And after 35 days of hard work and warming, the bald eagle parents, they are gifted with nothing less than what I would say are the cutest babies that exist on the planet. Little baseball-sized babies do. And so, what I'm about public
teenagers
sense of night vision was know that nest is stinky, crawl up in the middle of the night, and they will steal the babies and the juvenile eaglets and eat them. And so a bald eaglet has the ability to lift its tail and shoot its poop about 6 feet when it needs to. And if you're like, Grant, you're just saying that to be funny? Not anymore. It's just my favorite fact about bald eagles. They need to do that to reduce the amount of stink in their nest so they do not get eaten when they are developing. We're talking a nest made of no more than sticks and marsh grasses.
Florida.
There was no, contractor there making sure everything was structurally sound. This was 2 birds ripping branches off of living or preferably dead trees. Yep. Nests are massive. That's basically like taking my little Chevy Cobalt and putting it up in a tree like a Christmas ornament. Bald eagles are fantastic creatures. They have about an 80% mortality rate getting to just age 4 because mom and dad, they basically give you enough refuge to figure out how to do it, but they don't show you any more than that. There are bald eagle parents that might be considered to be good pairs, but those are outliers. It's more often than not, the strong survive, and when you can do it, you're big enough to be my competition.
Shortly, we're in St. Paul, Minnesota. Some more barges. Kind of an industrial area, it appears. And so many of these beautiful flower arrangements, pots of real flowers in every town we've been in. And over here is some of St. Paul's finest. Nice guys that tried to get me a cab, and then Stu got one of the Viking people to agree to give us a ride on the bus with the people who did all their booking through Viking, which we didn't do.